All right, so welcome back again and happy Sunday. So I had no intentions of going live today, but the Lord brought me back here. So happy Sunday. We are officially in about the third week of August. Today's the 17th, and we'll see how long I'm up here today because I had no intentions of being up here today. I thought the Lord had shared with me to go live, and then just a few moments ago, I was asked to go live. So you probably saw my recent post about a habit check called forgiveness, right? Last week we had talked about the failure of forgiveness and what that entails. For those of you who wasn't there, I had shared some verses, and I'll maybe do a recap. I'll do a recap real quick of what we had talked about. I had shared some verses about choosing forgiveness because when you're not choosing forgiveness, shame and guilt continue to riddle you, right? I talked even in my post today. I said that what happens when we don't forgive is that bitterness takes root, and bitterness poisons everything in your life. Right? If you're wondering why your emotions are at an all-time high in terms of anger and irritability, depression, anxiety from day to day, and like let's say something happens in your day today, and very easily, very quickly, no matter how small it is, you become very upset. And then your emotions, the intensity of your emotions doesn't really match what you're seeing. Part of that is because of unforgiveness, right? We've had to talk about traumas and all these things that affect the way you're parenting, but forgiveness is definitely a key ingredient that you will need if you want to move forward the way God intended. You're holding on to unforgiveness just causes you to hold on to things that do not belong to you, right? Forgiveness, people might say forgiveness is for them. No, forgiveness is for you so that you are no longer holding on to it, so that you are no longer burdened by your past. So every time you see that person, every time you have an experience in a similar way, you're not discontorted and bent out of shape because it's happening again. So, today is a habit check on forgiveness. Did you take the time last week to forgive yourself? And if you didn't, let's walk through that today. So, you can repeat after me. I'm going to give it a pause every time I say something, and I'm hoping that you're going to repeat after me. I forgive myself for not knowing how to parent. I forgive myself for reacting in ways that did not make sense. I forgive myself for saying yes to everyone else and saying no to myself. I forgive myself for allowing my emotions to make me make some bad decisions. I forgive myself for blaming my team for everything that's going wrong, knowing that I am part of the problem. I forgive myself for not being consistent in the way I choose to parent. I forgive myself for not setting up boundaries and consequences and allowing people to override them and to violate them without me saying anything. I forgive myself for keeping my mouth shut when I should have said something. I forgive myself for not prioritizing my health, instead prioritizing my role of motherhood or fatherhood or parent. I forgive myself for not putting me first. And I don't mean in a selfish way, but not putting me first. I'm going to scratch that in terms of a selfish way. Sometimes selfish has this negative connotation when it's okay to choose yourself first. Oftentimes, as a parent, as a caregiver, you're choosing your children first. You're choosing your spouse first. You're choosing everyone first. You're choosing your job first. This time, choose you. And no, it's not selfish, especially if you keep putting yourself on the back burner. It's okay to choose you. Now, if you're only choosing you, that's when we might want to tap in and say, you know what, I might be doing too much. But it is okay to choose you first. We talked about from week to week that the parent first, you first. Change starts with you. Habit formation starts with you. increase in better manageability starts with you. The transformation starts with you as a parent, as a caregiver, as the one who is leading your home. And then the teen in your home, the teens in your home, the children in your home get to benefit from what you're pouring into yourself. You've heard the saying about pouring into cups. Well, how are you going to pour if there's nothing within you? And there's nothing within you because you decided to give it all away to unforgiveness. And now all the bitter roots have sucked up all the water. So choose forgiveness. Choose forgiveness. And it reminds me of the verse that we had talked about the last time. And it was Colossians 3:13, make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Anyone who offends you includes yourself. Forgive yourself. Include yourself in that number of anyone who offends you. And then after you've done the work to forgive yourself and release it, right, saying that I release myself into the freedom of my forgiveness. Now say that out loud so that your ears can hear it and your heart can accept it. You might want to switch gears to even your partner, your husband, your wife, your person who's helping you parent in your home. Because I know some of you guys are married, some of you guys are not. There might be some different situations, right? But whoever is helping you parent, you might want to forgive them as well. And let's repeat after me again. I forgive you for not helping me parent the way I hoped you would. I forgive them for not living up to my standard or expectations. I forgive them for letting me do all the work. I forgive them for allowing me to do the work even though they saw me struggling and didn't pick up a hand to help. And once you're done getting to your partner, you might want to shift that to your teen, the teen in your home. And you can repeat after me again. I forgive them. I forgive him or her for their reaction to my words. I forgive them for how angry they are acting towards me. I forgive them for how rebellious they are in the way that they're acting. I forgive them for not accepting the advice I tried to give them, even though I knew a better way. I forgive them for making some of the dumb choices that they've made in the past couple of days, weeks, months, or years. I forgive them for not doing the chores and making me say it so many times. And maybe you want to even actually say this to your teen. It's great to say, you know what, I release my teen into the freedom of my forgiveness. It's great to say that out loud to God, but you might want to also say that to your teen. You know what? I forgive you for how things have gone over these past couple of weeks and months. Parenting with you has been a challenge for me. I forgive myself for the way I chose to react to some of your responses, and I forgive you for reacting the way you did to me. Sometimes an apology goes a long way, but you also need to know what you're sorry for. So don't just say it just because you want to say it, but actually take the time to acknowledge what you're saying sorry for. And then the other verse we had talked about last week was Ephesians 4:32. Instead, be kind to each other, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you can't be loving and kind-hearted or tenderhearted towards others. Because it's not just, and we've talked about it before, and this is a clinical aspect, when you've already had one offense and then another offense comes that looks the same way, now it's offense times 2, anger times 2. Anger times 5. The matter is how many times it's happened, the anger starts to increase and increase and increase, especially if you did not forgive. All it does is increase. It doesn't ever go away. We talked about before that energy doesn't go away. That's what science says. But even when it comes to our emotions do not go away if we don't deal with them, if we don't treat them, if we don't manage them. They just keep increasing like domino stacks. All of a sudden, you went from 1 domino to 15. And all it takes for one to push it over and they all go smacking down. And all of a sudden your anger is at a level 10, even though something did like a level 2 offense. That's what unforgiveness does. It makes a problem look a lot bigger than it actually is. And then all of a sudden you're huffing and puffing, you're acting all bent out of shape, you're ignoring everybody, you got an attitude because you chose to hold on to unforgiveness. So choose today to let it go. Choose today to take some time to forgive yourself. Choose today to take some time to forgive those in your life so that bitterness doesn't continue to poison you and everything else that you want or love. So, are you choosing forgiveness or are you choosing a life of bitterness? Those are your choices today. And like I always say, you, the parent first. Forgiveness starts with you. When you're able to be kind and tenderhearted towards yourself by forgiving yourself, then you can also give that to others because you won't be pouring from an empty cup anymore. You'll be full of love and kindness and compassion and grace and mercy towards others because you chose to give that to yourself first. One thing I used to say to myself last year is that when I forget about myself, I forget about God. Because if we're saying the Holy Spirit dwells within us, right? And we are a resemblance of Jesus Christ on the earth, then when we forget about us, we're forgetting about him. Because struggle, bitterness, unforgiveness, anger, rage, shame, guilt, those are not the things he paid for. That is not his will for us to live, continue to be plagued by our emotions, continue to be almost like suffocated by our unforgiveness, our shame, and our guilt. That's not what he paid for. That is not his will for us. He came to give us life and life more abundantly. Someone fact check me on that verse. I know it's somewhere in the Bible because I think we talked about it in a week or two. He came to give us life and life more abundantly. Bitterness is not an abundant life. Anger and rage at a level 10 is not an abundant life. So, your choice today. Choose unforgiveness or choose bitterness for the rest of your life. And you have some time to take this to God, take it to the cross, and hopefully He gives you some answers as to who you need to forgive other than yourself. And take some time this week to knock that list out. Go through your list, have the light of God to shine His light on the people you need to forgive, on the things that you're forgiving them for, and be specific so that you can move forward and parent in the way that God intended. So, we typically go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said today, I had no intentions of going live today because I had gotten a no from God, and then He asked me to go live a few moments ago. So that's why I'm joining you here today. So also follow me at Raising Teens with Natalie on all of my platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. We go live everywhere, and you can follow me there. I know today I did not go live on Instagram just because there was a hiccup in the connection of the platforms, but hopefully for my Instagram people, you see the link in the bio. You can join me again next Sunday, and you can also catch the replay on this live. So I will see you guys all again